Hi, I'm Kirsty Exner, and I'm the owner of the Blue Velvet Health and Wellness Clinic and Fitness Studio here in Rosslyn, BC. I'm also a physiotherapist and a strength and conditioning coach. I am here today to bring you the top 5 exercises for the summer to help you maintain a healthy, functioning body. We're going to start with number 1. Number 1, we're going to come down onto our knees, and we're going to bring the left foot forward and the right foot back. Now, if I'm here, I've got a narrow stance. I want a nice, wide, solid, stable stance. In this position here, I've got equal weight on my front and back leg. I'm going to think about my posture. So with my pelvis, I don't want to have my pelvis in an anterior tilt or in too much of a posterior tilt. I want to try and find my neutral pelvis. As I come up into my shoulders, I want my shoulders to be level, and I'm broadening my shoulders, which means that I'm engaging my armpit muscles and the muscles between my shoulder blades. In this position here, I'm going to get you to bring your arms up in behind your head, and we're going to hover the knee off the ground for about a minute. So I'm going to start to hover my knee off the ground. Now this is definitely a little bit harder. If I want to make this easier, I can come up, up, up. So the higher I come up, the easier this is to hold. So this is going to be a hold for a minute. So just find the position that feels the best for you. And you're going to be feeling this working both legs and your core as well. What we're going to add into this is 10 lifts, single leg lifts of the front leg. So I'm just lifting the heel and I'm working on the muscle called the soleus. There are 2 major muscles in the lower calf. That's the gastrocnemius and the soleus. So by working on the heel lift, I'm working on strengthening this muscle, which tends to be weak on most people. And when this muscle is weak, we get all sorts of issues and imbalances with our ankle and knee. So keeping this muscle strong is really important. This exercise here, by just lifting the heel, also really helps with the venous return, so blood flow coming up out of the legs. So it really helps with recovery after a big run, after a big bike ride, and just keeps everything flowing smoothly. Okay? So after doing about 15 of those, we're going to hold for another 10 seconds. Okay, so you're holding, breathing. That's it. Okay, we'll go 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and coming up. Okay, we're going to switch sides. Right foot comes forward, left foot goes back. Back down into our same starting position. Make sure you've got your pelvis in neutral, shoulders are broadened, arms come up over the head, and we're going to hover that back knee. Again, finding that position that feels the best for you and holding this for as long as you can. Now, if you're holding this and you're shaking, you're starting to lose your form, by all means, put the knee down and reset and start again. So just find what works for you and work at your level and the pace that works best for you, that you can maintain good control and good technique and good posture. Okay, we're going to start to lift that heel on this side. So it's just lifting the heel and dropping, okay? If you notice any shaking in this front leg, the shaking generally means a weaker muscle. So this is a really great exercise for you to be working on. Okay, so we're going for 15 reps of this, just holding, okay? Working on just getting all that excess stagnant flow out of the lower legs, bring it up into the bloodstream. Okay, we've got another 3 here, 3, 2, 1, about 10 more second hold here, so just holding for the last 10 seconds. Okay, we're at 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's come up out of that and stamp that out and stretch that out. Okay, we're going to come back down to the mat and we're going to go into our number 2 exercise. And this is a variation of the bird dog. You've heard of this before. So we're going to come down into our 4-point kneel. Want to make sure that your shoulders are over top of your wrists and you've got weight on your fingers, which takes the pressure off the wrist. In this position here, think about your posture and your form. So you want to think about engaging the muscles of your armpits and also widening your shoulder blades so you create more space between the shoulder blades. In my lower back, I want to make sure my back isn't arched. I want to make sure my back isn't rounded. I want to have a nice flat back. So if I had to eat dinner on your back, I could, okay? We're going to start with level 1. Level 1 is bringing opposite arm, opposite leg out and holding for 5 seconds and bringing it back in. Okay, alternating sides. Okay, level 2 is going to be curling your toes back, and you're just going to come up and hold the bird dog. Now you're going to feel a lot more core activation with this one. Okay, now you might just hold this for 5 seconds, put the knees down, or you might hold this for longer. Okay, but starting here. Now if you're feeling good with that, you want to go on to level 3. Level 3 is the hover, okay, and then going into our bird dog, okay? But again, I don't want to be going here unless I can maintain a flat back without any excess moving through the back, okay? So I'm going to go into 5 repetitions each side, holding for about 3 to 5 seconds. Okay, just long enough that I can really feel my balance, feel my core. Okay, you might feel one side easier than the other. If that's the case, this is a great exercise for you to be working on and to keep maintaining and working towards. Okay, we'll do one more each side. So we'll hold and extend. Okay, and then again, other side, hold, extend. Okay, coming back. We'll bring the knees down. We're going to pull that back into a child's pose and just let that rest. Just taking a nice deep breath. Okay, moving on to number 3. Number 3 is a variation of a side plank. So in kneeling, I'm going to put my hands out wide. I'm going to take my right leg, turn the toe in, out, and I'm looking at my body right now. My knee should be in line with my toe. I'm going to windmill my left hand down. Now looking to make sure my left hand is in line with my left knee and my right foot. Okay, bringing this arm up. The tendency here is to kind of cave in. So I really want you to extend through your pelvis and really flatten your bum, so you're kind of pushing your pelvis out, so you're feeling a nice stretch through there, but also tucking the bum in so we've got a nice straight line. If I look down my body, my shoulder is in line with my foot, okay? From here, I'm going to bring this leg into 90 degrees, okay? The arm into 90 degrees, and I'm coming up into a side leg lift with the arm. So I'm coming straight up and back down. Okay, not touching the ground as I come back and down. Okay, exhale to come up, inhale to come back down. Okay, so I'm working my side plank, which is working shoulder stability, thoracic stability, so the thorax. Okay, and then I'm also getting the glute medius working here, and the core, and a bit of range of motion through the shoulder joint itself. Okay, so really great exercise. Okay, making sure you're maintaining that nice stability through the core. So we're moving the arms and leg independently of the torso. Okay, we've got 2 more. That's 1, and last one, and that's 2. Okay, let's take that down, and we'll switch to the other side. Extending the left leg out, arms come here, windmill the right arm down, look to make sure you're in a nice straight line, tuck the pelvis in so you feel that stretch through the front of the hip flexor on the left, arm comes up, leg comes in, arm comes down, and we're lifting up with an exhale into this star clam position. Okay, making sure that upper trap, we're keeping the neck nice and long and tall, so we're not caving into that shoulder, we're keeping nice and strong, working that shoulder stability, keeping the neck relaxed, and you can feel that stability and that strength working through that lateral glute muscle, the core, and through the thorax. Okay, exhale and down. We've got 2 more here. Okay, 2, and that's the last one. Good. Okay, coming out of that and back. Great. Next one we're going to go into is our number 4 exercise, and this is an ELDOA. ELDOA is a French acronym which translates in English to loads. So it's a longitudinal osteoarticular decoaptation stretch, which basically means if I'm trying to find, I want to mobilize a segment in the spine or somewhere in the peripheral joint in the body, and that's not moving well. So here's my L5, here's my sacrum, and my L5 is the last vertebrae before we hit this big flat bone. So we're going to mobilize this segment here. This is one that gets stuck on a lot of people, and we can end up having SI joint problems when this joint isn't working well. SI joint problems mean sciatica down the leg, back pain, glute pain, sometimes inner thigh pain, all sorts of sort of lower leg issues. So by keeping this joint moving well, it works the whole system and makes everything feel better. So what you're going to do with this one is get your mat right up to the wall. We're going to come into the wall, bring your bum right up to the edge of the wall. And then you're going to come down so you're lying flat. And I'm going to bring my bum up to the edge of the wall as best I can. Okay? I'm thinking about pressing my back into the mat. So I'm really pushing my back in. I can feel lots of pressure on my back. Okay? And then with my feet, I'm going to turn my toes in just enough so that they're not touching, but they almost are. The legs are pressed against the wall. My toes are almost touching together. And then my arms come up. And then I'm going to bring the arms back into those ELDOA hands, coming all the way back. Okay? Head is nice and long, and I'm holding this position for 45 seconds to a minute. So what I'm wanting to feel here is pressure of my whole spine on the mat. Okay, I'm feeling my legs pushing into the wall. Feet are in external rotation. My hands are in external rotation. My hands are flat, and I'm pulling. So if you can imagine, we've stabilized the pelvis and the sacrum. So I've got weight on the sacrum at the back, and then I'm lifting from L5, that segment that I showed you on the spine, lifting that up and away from the sacrum. So try to visualize that, creating that space in this specific segment that we're talking about here. Okay, and then with your eyes, I want you to keep your eye gaze between your knees. So we're going to involve the fascia of the brain. Okay, so we're working on the sclera of the eye. So if I look at my knees, I can feel almost sort of tension through my head as I tension all that fascial line all the way from my sacrum all the way to the top of my head. Okay, keeping your eyes open. We'll go for another 10 seconds. Holding, breathing. Okay, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And we'll slowly bring the arms out, bring the legs down, and we'll slowly, with ELDOAs, you always want to come out of these really carefully. Okay? We're working on flushing the whole neural system. So if you have any neuropathies, so any numbs and tingling down the arms or down the legs, these ELDOAs are a really great exercise for you to work on. You may have been to physio, been on a traction table or tried an inversion table to kind of help with lower back or issues if you've had sort of a pinched nerve or a swollen disc. So this is a way that you can do this yourself, an active way, which is always better than relying on passive treatment. So if you like these, I've got a whole class that is just ELDOAs working on that whole neural functioning of the body. So please come and check that out in the fall. But I'm going to leave you with my last and final exercise. This is my favorite exercise, a fascial stretch, but also an ELDOA for the hips and for the QL muscles, a little bit more of a peripheral joint traction. So we're going to start by lying on our right side, and you're going to have your right leg up 90 degrees to your body with this foot active, so flexed. The left leg is going to be straight. If I was to take my hand, I can draw a straight line from my shoulder all the way down to my toes, and then I'm going to push my pinky toe down to the ground. That's my anchor. So I'm pulling that leg away from me. And then I'm going to take my arms into this position, okay? And then right from here, I can feel an amazing stretch right through my whole torso and through my pelvis. From here, I can stay here if I'm like, wow, this is enough of a stretch, stay here. Otherwise, we're going to take the left hand, reach right out as far as you can, bring that hand to external rotation, those ELDOA hands, and we're holding this for 45 seconds. Now here's my gravity line. I am pushing my left hand palm away from me to the wall, and I'm pushing my left toe down to the ground and away. So I'm creating this opposing line of force from the left hand to the left foot, creating traction and creating a really deep opening of the psoas and QL complex, okay? My chin is tucked in, my head is facing down, my shoulders are relaxed, my head is relaxed, okay? Belly is pulled in, and I'm actively working these muscles to feel a really good deep stretch. So anybody any exercises you're doing this summer, this for biking, for hiking, for running, this is a fantastic exercise to be working on, just to be stretching out the whole system. Okay, we've got another 5 seconds here. Okay, and now we're going to slowly come out of that. Okay, always want to be gentle working with the nervous system, so we never want to jump out of these. We want to take it nice and easy. And we're going to switch over to the other side. So now I've got my left leg perpendicular to my body with this left foot flexed. Right foot goes down. I can draw a nice straight line from my shoulder all the way down to my ankle. And I'm pushing my pinky toe down the mat. That's creating my anchor. Okay? And I'm going to twist my torso to bring both elbows down to the ground, looking straight ahead. And in this one, I'm bringing the right arm out this time. Stretching, and then as soon as I get that full stretch, I'm bringing that hand into external rotation, pushing the palm to the opposite wall as I push the pinky toe down to the ground, creating that line of force. Okay, so feeling that really deep stretch through that whole mid-waist area. Now what's really important with this is this really helps to loosen these structures, because when these become tight, it kind of brings our whole body together. So our thorax moves with our pelvis, shoulders get pulled in, everything moves kind of as one blocky unit, which ends up being stiff. So if I can get my goal is to have my stable pelvis and mobile thorax. So this is a great way to stretch out all those structures and get things moving independently so you can have a better functioning body and less pain and less discomfort. And muscles working more at their prime because they're able to get to their full extension and their full flexion, their full range of motion. Okay, so we've got another 5 seconds here. So holding, really reaching, pushing through this one. Okay, these ELDOAs are not, they look easy, but they're hard. You can put as much work as you want into these or not. And then we're going to bring the hand down and relax and slowly come back to sitting. Okay, so that was the 5 top exercises for the summer. Please check out our website at bluevelvethealth.com and like us on social media, Blue Velvet Health, Facebook and Instagram. And thank you so much for joining me today. And we look forward to seeing you in the fall, and hope you have a great summer. Thanks again.